Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today we'll be making this really cute and adorable treat box that uses the envelope punch board by Stampin Up, as well as a sheet of designer paper cut at 6 inches by 6 inches. This is the Gold Soiree Specialty Designer Paper that's in the 2014-15 catalog. And what's kind of great about the 6 by 6 size is that you can get 4 treat boxes out of one sheet of paper, which means out of one pack of 12 designer series paper packs, you can make 48 treats, boxes. So, you know, what a great way to coordinate your next party or things that you want to pass out maybe in the office. So 48 of them out of one pack of designer paper. So again, to get started, it's a 6 by 6 piece of paper, and we want to, whoops, I'll get my scoring tool out of the side there. So nice that it comes right there ready to go. Our first line that we want to measure up is at 1 3/4 inches. Whoops, let me say that again. It's 1 3/8. So again, it's 1 3/8. So line up the left edge to the 1 3/8. Going to punch and score. I'm going to turn this so that you can see it a little better. So I punched it. I'm going to find the edge and follow the score line. And then I'm going to move this down to the 4-inch line, mark, punch, and score. So then what we want to do is we're going to turn, make a 1/4 of a turn, and now we're going to take the score lines that we just made and line it up to the guide arm. So we just need the measurements the first time on the punch board. You guys have seen this by now probably. But I'm lining it up to the score line using the little guide arm here. Punch and score. Go down to the second one, line it up, punch and score. And we're going to do that on all of the sides. So I turned it again, punch and score. Again, it's fine if you're a score and punch as long as you do both steps before you turn it. Lining it up on the score line, punch and score. And I'll just show you this just in case it doesn't come across the camera. So there's the score line, and I'm lining up that score line each time to this little guide arm. Punch, score, and one last time. Punch and score. So now we have our little box template here, and what I want to do is grab the 2 smaller tabs. Can you see that this tab and this tab is larger than these 2 side tabs? What we want to do is have these 2 tabs on our left and our right, and taking our paper snips, again I'll go ahead and lightly crease this so that we can see. What I want to do is make our box flaps, and I'm coming in and just using our paper snips, trimming along the score line up until where it hits that first intersection, and do it on both sides. Turn it around. Again, I've got the smaller tabs on the right and the left. Same thing. We're going to trim up to the score line. Trim along the score line and up to the first score line. So now with our bone folder, what we want to do is burnish all of the fold lines. So we want to make sure that we get nice crisp edges. And unlike cardstock, when you're doing this with designer paper, you'll want to use, you don't want to over score it or burnish it. Meaning that we don't want to overplay the designer paper. It's just not quite as robust as the double layers that the cardstock has. So we don't want to overplay the paper, meaning that we don't want to go over it so hard that it starts to rip. But this specialty designer paper is really super nice. It's got a little bit of a gold sheen to it, super pretty. Okay. We've got all of those in here. So now what we want to do is, as you can see here, the larger points is going to be where they connect. Oh, one of the things I forgot to do, let's grab our punch board back. In this version, I do want to round the corners. And so you can use the back side of your envelope punch. And we're going to put those in there and punch. And it's going to round each of those corners, and I'll do that off camera. So I've rounded all of those corners. Next thing I want to do is take the small oval punch, and here's a Post-it note. And I'm going to punch the oval so that a little bit of that Post-it note or the stickiness gets on it. And I'm going to use that to line up our little handles. And again, this is with the larger one. So I'm going to line those up, position that where I'd like it. And I do it all at once. You could do this, you know, each step side by, or, you know, one at a time if you'd like. Line it up and punch. And there's our handles. On the first one that I made, I adhered the sides to it so that it's one box. On this one, I'll show you another little trick that you can do that it makes it look like that this is a little bag in and of itself within it. So I'm going to take some mini glue dots, and I use mini glue dots on this one as well. Oh, we want to pick our side. I really like this fun confetti side, so that's going to be my outside. So I'll flip this inside out real quick. There we go. And what I want to do is bring up the sides so that these are on the outside of this. But I don't want to adhere it to this inside flap. So I'm just going to put mini glue dots on the outer corners here. And I may need to go in and anchor it a little more, but I'm going to put one here. And grab the glue dot again. Got my paper piercer to easily take those off of the roll. Okay, so now I'm going to line up that side, put it down, and see it's going to, that mini glue dots on the bottom. Get a nice press on that. Do the same thing on the other side. Pick up a mini glue dot, my paper piercer, put it here on the corner. And the last one. These actually go together so super fast. I know that these will be in my, what do I want to say, my repertoire of boxes, because again, they just, you know, go together super fast. And how adorable. Cute. Okay, so now I want to turn down the sides of it. Kind of like on that one, you have a little accent there, you know, show the other side of the designer paper. Again, put a little mini glue dot just to keep it down. All right, so now on this version, it almost looks like, because we didn't anchor it to the, like we didn't adhere it to this part of the box, it almost looks like a little bag that's within the box. All right, so let's add a little something, a little tag to the outside of it. And what we're going to use today is an image from the stamp set. Looks like this. It's one of the new photopolymer ones. It's Endless Birthday Wishes. We're going to use the cup or the cake and the little dot pattern, as well as this, one of the swishy marks from Work of Art. So I'm going to grab up my image here, and I'm a little bit of, you know, this is probably not very good policy, I guess, on how to do it, but I'll show you what I do when I get ready to rock and roll. Put an image of the photopolymer on one end and one on the other. Sometimes, you know, I'm in production mode and it just goes faster. I've got the Tuxedo Blank Memento ink, and we're going to ink up our little birthday cake and get that stamped. I've got a 1 3/4 inch, whoops, other side. Let's do that again. I was too busy talking and didn't pay attention to if I had my little cupcake or my little birthday cake inked up well. Now we're ready to go. The paper size on this little tag that I did with Whisper White is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. let me do that again. Third time's a charm. I'm keeping that in there. You guys know I'm human. We all make little bloopers. Let's go ahead and we'll press it down again. Just make sure I'm at a good angle this go around. There we go. Woohoo, hooray. We finally got a stamped image. What do you know? Okay, then I'm going to take the swoosh image, one of the smaller swooshes from Work of Art, Crisp Cantaloupe. I'm picking up one of the colors in the designer paper. Ink it up. And this is going to give us our little watermark kind of look on the top. I'll clean this and be right back. Okay, I've got this stamp clean, so now I'm taking Pistachio Pudding, another color, inking it up, and put a little bit of the color palette down there. How easy is that to color? Oh my goodness. Such a neat little quick and down and dirty coloring. Of course, you could get out your markers, your blendabilities, and have fun doing it with that way too. Next, I'm going to take the Encore Gold. It's a metallic gold, kind of to pick up the gold flecks that we have in the designer paper. And we'll stamp around a couple of times. Just kind of helps bring all of the elements into our tag. Super cute. How easy was that? Again, this is a great, I think it's a great project to do, again, mass production on for a party favor. I'm going to take the 1/8 or handheld circle punch and punch a hole up in the corner. And I'm going to take some of the gold foil sheets, and I've got some scrap here, and I'm going to change this up a little bit. This is the accent punch pack, and I'm going to do a heart with this one as well as a star. So save all of those little scraps for these foil sheets, because it really, you can get quite a little bit out of it. Same thing, gonna punch a little hole up in the corners. Whoops, that one got mangled. And one more time with the star. And go from there. Next, I'm going to take some of the gold and whisper white baker twine, and we'll go ahead and we'll thread it through our elements here. And this is where, you can, just kind of pull it through. It's a good, that 1/8 hole is a great size to be able to do this. Oops, we'll get that one pulled through, and then through our tag. So with our elements strung through the baker's twine, I'm going to go ahead and just do a little slip knot just to kind of keep them all anchored where you might want them. So you can play around with that. I'm not going to do it right now. And then you'd fill up your treat box and just, tie a knot or a bow or whatever you feel like doing. And you've got a super cute little element. And then what I also did on here, you'll see these little flyaway gold elements here. I took the baker's twine, took another little strip of baker's twine, and I just twisted off the gold from the golden whisper white baker twine. So here it shows it with it on it, and I just took that off. And again, you can add another cute little element to it. So I hope you enjoy learning how to make this little treat box out of one 6x6 piece of designer paper and the envelope punch board. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.